Hello, I'm Cherie Yang. I'm a North Korean defector living in the United States. First of all, I would like to thank Casey and Eunkoo for organizing this event. And I am honored to share my story with all of you. North Korea is the worst country in the world. As one analyst said, you can live, you can leave. It's the definition of hell. I was born in that country. From kindergarten, North Korean people are brainwashed by the Kim regime. We sang the song, Nothing to Envy. Our textbooks taught us that our country is the best and richest. And we were taught that there are a lot of beggars on the street in South Korea. Therefore, we need to help load rice on trains to send to starving South Korean children. On top of that, we are taught that our dear leader is our God, and he provided us everything we need. Every day we taught that we need to be ready to die for Kim dictators, to be bullets and bombs, to protect our God. Dying for Kim dictators was supposedly an honor, and we would be heroes. I grew up brainwashed with such lies. There are two key moments in my life that helped me realize that our dear leader was the best swindler. I first began to have many questions when I was in elementary school. I didn't like the snacks that our dear leader provided us, but I had to bow in front of portraits of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il to show my gratitude when we received the gifts from our dear leader. I was so confused. Even though I didn't like the snacks, why I have to pretend like it so much? One day, after it had rained, I saw a rainbow in the sky. As soon as I saw a rainbow, another question came to my mind. How could our dear leader climb a tree, catch rainbow with his hands? Moreover, how could it be possible he can walk on the clouds? I grew up brainwashed with such lies. As I was starting to question things, I went through a traumatic time when I was 10 years old. I was born in a well-off family. My father was a businessman who traded with China. He also a member of a Workers' Party, and he also received 2 honorary medals from Kim Il-sung. 2 honorary medals he received from Kim Il-sung was proudly displayed on the wall all the time in our house. North Koreans consider it to be an honor to receive medals from from our dear leader. Furthermore, the regime considered my father a loyal man. Growing up in the early 90s, I idolized my father. Unlike North Korean men I heard about, he was a sweet and gentle man. When I was young, my father would carry my sister and I on his shoulder, play hide and seek with us, and most importantly, he was my mentor. Not only did he love me, he taught me how to view the world and how to think for myself. He encouraged me to be curious and to ask questions to the country where I lived. Kim Jong-il, he gradually began to take power from his father Kim Il-sung. Kim Il-sung selected Kim Jong-il as his heir to the throne. His concern was the loyalty level of the core class. Many more wealthy and influential people were questioning and raising doubts about the regime. Therefore, Kim Jong-il wanted to please his father. He formed the anti-communist group all over the country and ordered to every city to punish well-off people. My father was the first target in our town. He was taken from our home, put on public trial, and eventually sentenced to prison. I arrived at the trial and found out people who were our closest friends throwing rocks at my father. My fear and confusion hit me like a train. I went to school the next day, and the school atmosphere was very cold. As soon as I got into the classroom, my teacher ripped off my leadership badge and banished me back of the room. Not only did my friends ignore me, but they treated me like I had the plague. After 1 year, my father was finally released from prison. I did not recognize my father's face because he had been beaten and starved so badly. For the rest of his life, he suffered from what happened to him in prison. As a daughter, watching my father suffer, I felt so much pain and had a lot of questions to the regime. One day, our dear leader considered my father as a loyal man, and the next day, he just punished my father as a traitor. What a erratic leader was. I was so confused. This was the moment I started doubting the government. Fast forward my difficult elementary school years to turn 16 years old. I got selected to the pleasure squad, known as Oka in North Korea. Within 1 month ahead of going to Pyongyang, I was working at the mayor's villa of my hometown. Women from all over the country wished to have this type of position because it considered to be honorable serve the government in this way. When I first arrived at the mayor's villa, I remember being extremely surprised. The facilities in this villa were so lavish, and they were beyond anything I could imagine. During the famine, we were told that everyone was suffering, sacrificing, including our dear leader, but they lived lavish lifestyles. My confusion and questions were clear. The Kim dictator had been lying to us for our entire lives. Actually, our dear leader turned out to be best swindler. I soon felt like a great sense of betrayal, and I felt like I was in prison. I was completely cut off from any life outside the villa. I began asking myself, If I go to Pyongyang, I might never see my family again. Can you live without ever seeing your family? Can you loyal to serve the Kim dictator who lied to his people? Can you live your life in prison? Finally, I decided to escape and go back to my family. I started to plan very carefully. Leaving the villa was going to be very difficult because there was only one door in and out of the complex. For 15 days, I gathered rocks and stacked them on top of each other. For 15th night, I was be able to escape. Once I escaped, I walked 2 hours walking down to the mountain. I luckily found my friend's house, and I slept there for the night. I woke up the next morning to go to my family, but my friend told me that police were looking for me. Apparently, about 400 soldiers were chasing me at the border trying to catch me. The intelligence officers were looking for me everywhere, such as my friends, my relatives, and even people I barely knew. After 1 month, I was so sick, and if I didn't go to hospital, I might have died. But I knew if I came out of hiding, I would caught right away and sent to prison. At that moment, I felt so betrayed by the Kim dictator, and I could not follow a leader who lied to his people. Therefore, I decided to escape the country. This changed my life. Now I am a free person who experiences freedom every day. I want to leave you with is this. Living in North Korea is like walking on the thin ice, whether you are high class or low class. At any moment, your life could be in danger because of an erratic leader. My family was loyal to the Kim dictator, but he turned my father as a traitor and sent him to prison. Overnight, I became a criminal and fugitive. I was hopeless. I couldn't see hope in the country. The third Kim dictator, Kim Jong-un, he killed his brother and uncle. The Kim dictator is willing to do anything to protect their power. For 3 generations, the Kim dictatorship deceived North Koreans, portraying themselves as God. I'm so thankful that I was able to escape, get to freedom. There are still 25 million North Koreans living as slaves who still have their rights being violated by the Kim dictator every day. The American poet Maya Angelou said, "I come as one, I stand as 10,000. I dream of North Korean people breaking from the Kim dictator's deceitful frame to live as free human beings and to live if they choose to do so. North Koreans can live as they choose, and they can live when they want. But hopefully one day they can know that you heard their stories and we can all meet together in freedom. Thank you for listening.